The lobby of the bank buzzed with activity that bright morning. Sunlight streamed through the tall glass windows, painting golden streaks across the gleaming marble floor. Men and women in business suits tapped impatiently on their phones, shuffled documents, and checked the clock as they waited for their turn. Amid this world of polish and professionalism, a man entered who seemed completely out of place. His name was Mr. Harlon, a tall, elderly figure with a weathered face, silver beard, and hands that told stories of labor and years. His faded checkered shirt hung loosely over worn jeans, and a straw hat shaded him from the scorching sun outside. He moved slowly, clutching an old leather wallet in his rough hands. Curious eyes followed him, some pitying, others judging. This wasn't his first visit to a bank, but the weight of those stares always made him wish he could disappear. The wealthy customers in crisp suits looked at him, as if he didn't belong, and even the staff avoided his gaze. But Mr. Harlon wasn't here to ask for much. He only wanted to check his account balance, to make sure everything was in order. He had spent his life working quietly, never flaunting his success or speaking of his achievements. That humility often made people underestimate him. As he stood in line, the branch manager, Victor Morrow, stepped out of his glass-walled office. Victor was everything Mr. Harlon appeared not to be. Young, confident, and impeccably dressed in a tailored navy suit with a bold red tie. He thrived on appearances and authority, and he loved to remind others of their place. When Victor spotted the old man holding his worn wallet, he smirked, nudged the clerk beside him, and whispered something that drew quiet laughter. Then, loud enough for the customers to hear, he sneered, "If you even have a balance, old man, I'll double it myself." The words sliced through the air like a knife. Conversation stopped. All eyes turned toward the frail man in the straw hat. Mr. Harlon lowered his head, saying nothing. His silence carried dignity, even as humiliation burned in his chest. He had been looked down upon many times before, but that never made it easier. What no one in that room knew, not even Victor, was that this man they mocked wasn't just another customer. He was the owner of the bank itself, the quiet founder who had built it from the ground up. If you believe in kindness, respect, and second chances, take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to Stories of Kindness so we can continue bringing you stories that matter. The clerk finally called Mr. Harlon forward, still grinning from Victor's cruel remark. The old man stepped up, handed over his ID, and waited patiently. The clerk typed his information into the computer, then froze. His smirk faded as the numbers appeared on the screen. His eyes widened. The account before him held more money than he had ever seen. Enough to buy the entire building many times over. He swallowed hard, whispering, "Sir, your account," but stopped when he noticed Victor watching. Victor, sensing something unusual, laughed and strutted forward. "What? Don't tell me he actually has something in there." But when the clerk hesitated, Victor snatched the printed slip, and the color drained from his face. His laughter died mid-breath. The number on that paper made his hands tremble. The room fell into complete silence. Customers leaned in, whispering. Staff exchanged nervous glances. And Mr. Harlon simply took back the slip, folded it neatly, and placed it in his old wallet. Then, in a voice calm and steady, he said, "The real balance we carry isn't in our bank account, but in how we treat others." He turned to leave, his quiet footsteps echoing through the stunned lobby. Victor's chest tightened. His face burned with shame as the weight of his arrogance hit him. Every polished surface now felt like a mirror reflecting his cruelty. The laughter that once made him feel powerful now sounded hollow and cruel. The customers who once admired him now looked on with disgust. Even his staff seemed to see him for the first time. For what he truly was, a man who mocked the humble and bowed only to wealth. Before reaching the door, Mr. Harlon stopped. Turning slightly, his voice softened but carried through the room like a warm breeze. "I grew up with nothing. Every dollar I earned came from sweat, sacrifice, and patience. I built this bank not to make men arrogant, but to give families hope, to help workers chase their dreams, to remind us that respect should always come before wealth. If you see someone who looks tired or worn, remember, you have no idea what battles they've fought. Treat them with the same dignity you'd want for yourself. The lobby was still. Even the ticking of the clock seemed to pause. A young mother wiped away a tear. An older gentleman in the corner nodded slowly, hand over heart. For a moment, the entire room felt changed, humbled. Victor, frozen in place, felt smaller than he ever had. Pride wrestled with guilt, and for the first time in years, he saw himself clearly. Mr. Harlon stepped into the sunlight, leaving behind a silence heavier than any reprimand. By afternoon, whispers of the event had spread throughout the city. Within days, Victor was summoned to a board meeting. Sitting at the head of the long table was Mr. Harlon. No straw hat this time, just a simple suit and the same unshakable humility. He looked at Victor, not with anger, but with quiet disappointment, and said, "Leadership isn't measured by how loudly you speak, but by how kindly you treat the smallest voice in the room." Victor resigned soon after, unable to bear the shame. But something changed in that bank. The staff began treating customers with new respect. Visitors came in remembering the man in the straw hat and the lesson he had left behind. As for Mr. Harlon, he continued living just as he always had, humbly, quietly, and with grace. For him, wealth was never the goal, dignity was. In the years that followed, the story of that day became legend. Not just about a CEO in disguise, but about a truth we too often forget: appearances deceive. Character never does. And somewhere, in a sunlit bank lobby, an old man reminded the world what true wealth really means. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like, comment, and share. Don't forget to subscribe to Stories of Kindness for more tales that remind us of the enduring power of kindness and respect.